Writing a book took me back to the third grade. I mean, when was the last time you allowed yourself to be the fool? This is the Bat J. Hannum Show, where I have candid conversations with inspiring people and turn topics inside out to help you grow your business and create more freedom in life. Hey, welcome everybody to another Inside Out episode of the show. And it's about writing a book. I know, I talk about that a bit, but good. I hope you're listening and you want to write a book and it's something that's been on your mind for a while. Maybe not, but anyway, whether it is, whether it isn't, it can be a metaphor for something else, that thing, that project, that something that you really want to do. So, writing a book. Everyone says they could. You talk to people at a barbecue and they're like, oh, I should write a book. But should you really do it? Should they really do it? I think either find a way to start doing it, genuinely, or just stop talking about it. And I feel like I had to say that to myself because I was that guy at a barbecue that'd be like, oh, maybe I didn't say it always to people, but when someone said to me, and maybe this has happened to you, oh, I'm writing this book, or they hand you a book they've just released. You go, oh, something inside of you just grabs you and says, you were going to do that. You've been talking about doing that. Why haven't you done that? And once you get past all of what it's going to be and all those other things, the truth is you have no idea what you're doing. And why should you? The only way is to start and figure it out, unless you've been trained in it, in creative writing and other things. And most of us haven't. And many people still want to write a book. So if you haven't been trained in it, why would you know? It's like picking up a basketball when you've never seen a court your entire life and understanding what to do with it. Writing a book pretty much took me back to the third grade, maybe younger. When was the last time you allowed yourself to be the fool? Because that's what it's going to take to actually, to write this book, to write the book that you've wanted. The fool, like the first card in the tarot, it's new beginnings, starting something new, and you have to take that sort of leap of faith and step into the unknown. You have to be okay with being the fool, not looking like you know all the answers to everything from the outside. And this episode, really, I'm going to just dive straight into 5 things, but there could be hundreds of things, excuses, people, concerns that will stop you writing this book, the starting book. To be honest, I've released a book and I still haven't written the book. There is a book sitting there that is my main book that needs to go and be put out in the world. So as is often the case with these episodes, they're calls to action for me as much as they are for anyone else. And I love it. I love that part about it. It's just a reminder. And probably for the next few years, you'll hear me talk about writing because there's a lot of writing and content creating that I want to do. So here's the first thing. Don't get caught up. Well, the first thing you can do to not write your book is getting caught up in the overwhelm. Should I write in Microsoft Word or Google Docs or some other program? What should I do? I haven't started yet. I don't know whether to self-publish or not. What am I going to do? Haven't started yet. How long should the book be? Well, I don't know, more than the 0 words that it is right now, or the fleeting idea in your mind. How do I structure the book? How do I get an ISBN number? What even is that? Do I need a designer, an illustrator, a publisher? Where do I print it? All these things. That's overwhelm. Forget it. Just, if you can, put that aside, write a list of things that you need to figure out later and just start writing. That's the number one. That's the big one. That is the big number one thing. However, I've got a few more just for the sake of it. So let's reverse it. Don't get caught up in the overwhelm. Bam, number one. The other thing, or next thing that will stop you, is not having the end in sight. I found writing a pretty tedious kind of process, and it's like a big thing, but it's not. If you break it down into how many sessions of like a couple of hours it's going to take, it's not that big. But when you're sitting there going, I need to write 80,000 words, that's pretty daunting, especially when you've written 0 or 1 or 7 words on the, as a title. So you need to have the end in sight, the story end, the book end, some sort of very quick planning structure to get you going. Have the end in sight. The next one is just write, all the time, as in don't just write when it feels good, because in my experience, it just doesn't. Most of what I've written has not been written when I'm feeling like I should write or feeling good about it. I did things like music to get me into certain moods at different times. I would play random heavy metal songs on repeat or other things. I did things to help me get in some sort of zone, but I can tell you that most of what I've written has been written when I'm not feeling great. So don't let that be an excuse. Don't listen to others, and their opinions and their well-meaning advice. It really is just that. It's well-meaning, and unless they've written 5, 10, 15 books, they're bestsellers, all the things that are what you would look up to and successful, they're probably fantastic humans, but they're not the people to be listening to. So don't listen to them. Be clear. The big number 5. Why are you doing this? Are you wanting to make a career change and dive into creative writing? Is that your thing? Do you want to tell your story? Is that what this is? Does it help you with your current business or profession or not? And the reason why I say be clear is because are you truly serious? Like, I think a lot of people can easily just say, I should write a book. And what they're referring to is that they've been through some things. And fair enough. Every human, I think, really has been through some things in their own version of how serious it is. It still becomes serious to us. So are you truly serious about documenting this or about writing this creative story? Or is it just something that you can let go of now? Because maybe letting go of it is just, maybe it won't give you that little burning feeling when someone at the barbecue tells you that they've just released a book or they want to write a book. So that's all the things. Overwhelm is the number 1. What about this? What about that? How do I do this? Don't worry. Just start. Just do it. So what's it going to be? Are you going to open a new document right now, put a working title on the top and say, start writing. Just write 4 words. Once upon a time. I don't know. 5 words. Or not. Or is it not today? Some other day, some other time, maybe next Tuesday. That might be a better time. Besides, you need time to think about doing it. I know I spent a lot of time thinking about doing it. And the big regret is I wish I'd just spent more time actually doing it. Good, bad, or otherwise. Stop thinking and just doing.